Hey everybody, I'm Brian with Aromacup.com. Thanks as always for joining me here in my virtual coffee shop brought to you by Aromacup.com. In today's video, I'm going to give you guys a quick, simple, and easy recipe using your Keurig Rivo single-serve espresso machine. I'm going to show you how to make an Espresso Con Panna. It's very simple and easy to make and a really awesome beverage to have after dinner, or when you're finishing off the day, something like that, because it's going to give you a little bit of sweetness with the intensity of espresso. So let's dive in and I'll show you how we can make an Espresso Con Panna using the Keurig Rivo single-serve espresso machine. Alright, so we don't need too much to make an Espresso Con Panna. We need, of course, our Keurig Rivo single-serve espresso machine. We need a Rivo pack. I've got an Intenso Rivo espresso pack right here, going to give me a nice strong shot of espresso. You need a cup or a mug of some kind. I've got a nice Bodum double-walled right here. And you're going to need some whipped cream. Now, you can use pretty much any whipped cream that you would like. We've just got some in an aerosol can here. You could make this at home if you want to get even more fancy about your beverage. Now, we're going to open up the brew basket. We're going to add our Rivo pack. Close that down and add your mug. Now, I'm going to use the handy small fold-down tray here on the Rivo so that I can get my espresso shot glass right up underneath the brew spigot, not get any extra splashing and make less of a mess. Now, I'm going to do a lungo shot, a double shot of espresso from my Rivo, so I'm just going to press the button on the furthest left here, bottommost row of buttons on the top of the machine. Now, of course, you can vary this depending on the strength of coffee that you like. Maybe you want a really strong shot, so in that case I would say do 2 Rivo packs, but do a single shot, a short pull on each of those. That's going to give you a very, very intense couple shots of coffee. In the case of what I'm doing right now, I'm definitely still going to have that intensity of the espresso, but because I'm doing a double shot, adding more water into that Rivo pack that I've added to the machine, it's not going to be as intense as if I were to do it in that other method where I use 2 Rivo packs. So again, all of this is totally based on how you like your coffee to taste. That's the thing we really like about single-serve coffee, is that you can customize your beverage essentially to be exactly as you like it, because you get that awesome, perfect measurement that you get out of a machine like the Keurig Rivo, and you can really adjust how you like your beverage to taste. So there is a double shot of espresso coming from the Keurig Rivo. Real quick and easy to make. Did that in about under a minute. Now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of whipped cream. Now again, you can adjust this to your own liking, but I like a pretty good amount of whipped cream. Because what can I say? I'm a sucker for sweet things. And now, speaking of sweet things, you can drink this just as it is, or in the case of the one I'm making, I'm going to add a little bit of ground cocoa bean and cane sugar. This is one of these cool things that you can add to your own at-home coffee shop. One of those kinds of special little accessories that when you show this to your friends, or they come over to hang out, you make them a cup of coffee, do something like this and their minds will just be blown. Walk out and give them that and they're going to be coming back to your house for coffee many, many times. That's an Espresso Con Panna. Now, there's also a very common version of this, in which case you usually are just going to use some foam with your espresso. That sort of starts to blur the lines a little bit with a cafe macchiato, but the true Espresso Con Panna is going to give you that sweetened whipped cream just on top of a single or a double shot of espresso. So you have many choices when it comes to customizing your beverage. This is the one that I personally like the most. There you go, guys. That's an Espresso Con Panna using the Keurig Rivo single-serve espresso machine. Again, very simple to make. You just need that Rivo pack, some whipped cream, and of course, your Keurig Rivo. Hope you guys found that recipe useful. If you've got questions, comments, please leave them here for us in our video. Make sure to subscribe to our channel. Join us on Aromacup.com. Talk coffee with us. And we will help you demystify the world of coffee. That's what we do best here at Aromacup.com. I'm Brian. I thank you guys for joining me here in my virtual coffee shop, and I will see you guys next time. Enjoy your cup and take care.